My name's Sharon Burke, and I'm from the James Burke Foundation. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Okay, so I want to talk to you for a couple of minutes about staying positive. And it's a really glib statement, isn't it? Stay positive. But how does that work in reality? When you're locked up in your house, because it is being locked up, and when you can't go do the things you want to do, you can't go to a pub, you can't just freely go to shops, a lot of people can't go to work. How do you stay positive? Well, firstly, for a lot of people, how life is at the moment, that's the norm for them. It is the norm. So they deal with this every day. So what is positivity? I sometimes look on Facebook and I hear lots of things about be kind and stay safe and look after yourselves and look after other people. And I would agree with every single one of those. But in reality, do we do that? Do we do that? Do we look after each other? But more importantly, do we look after ourselves? And before you even begin to think about looking after anybody else, we need to look after you, look after your well-being. So just to put that into some kind of context, if you're on an aeroplane, the first thing that they say when they're going through those wonderful safety routines is put your own mask on first before you put anybody else's on, because you're no good to your child or anybody with you if you can't function. So let's think about that for a moment. What does being positive mean to you? Now, I can tell you what it means to me, but I think positivity, and we can talk about the dictionary definition, which of course I'm not going to, means different things to different people. Achieving happiness means different things to different people. So being positive is always, for me, is always trying to find something you can build on, no matter how difficult the situation. Now, there's lots of people, isn't there, who come on and talk about positivity and what you need to do, and I'm not going to do that. But what I do hope to do is just inspire something in you that you can take away and perhaps reflect and think about how you can make a difference to your life, to those around you, but more importantly, to yourself. I had a catastrophic event in my life, and it would have been so easy to give up, to abandon everything that I've always held dear. And it's difficult not to, trust me, it's really, really difficult. But what I do every day, and there's down days, what I do every day is try and find one good thing, one positive thing that I can do to make a difference. So let's look at you. Just take a moment and look at yourself. Everything that you know, I assume, will have changed. For everybody, well, globally, things are different. The freedoms that we had have disappeared. And I'm not glossing over that because it is what it is. So what we need to do is find a way of dealing with that. So one of the keys is trying to keep to some kind of routine. So if you always get up at 7 o'clock, try and do that. It's difficult when you don't have to be anywhere or you don't have to do anything. But routine and structure to your day does help, does really help. So get up at your normal time and try and replace the things you did with something else. So maybe using this time to do something that you never had the time to do. I've been clearing out this cupboard that I've been meaning to do for a long time. And I kind of wish I hadn't started, but I do feel quite gratified when I've seen the 2 bags of rubbish that need to go out, because I've been putting things in this cupboard and I was always going to do it, and then pretended that I didn't do it because of work and other commitments. But I was just fooling myself, really. So, small tasks. Maybe it's something that you've been putting off doing. So how do we stay positive? I'd like you all to, when we finish, get a piece of paper and write down all the things that matter to you. What's important in your life? And then write down why are they important? What difference do they make to you? So maybe I've got a dog, Millie. She's old and she's a bit battered and she's going blind, and she's really, really, really important to me. So looking after Millie and walking Millie and making sure Millie's all right is one of the ways that I stay positive, because I can't afford not to be okay because I need to look after Millie. But obviously people don't always have something to look after. I work really closely with my friend and colleague Paul Abraham, who runs an organisation called Heading Onwards, and together we help and support people who have suffering from anxiety, depression, stress, short-term or long-term. And Paul has an idea about having a box, a crisis box. And so I think it's a fantastic idea that you get a box or a bag and put things in it that are important to you. So if I were doing my box, and I have done, I'd definitely have a big bar of chocolate. I love chocolate. I'd also have some old pictures that are really special to me, because I like old pictures. I'd have my dad's passport from 1944. I'd also have my mum's makeup. And all those things wouldn't mean anything to anybody else. But if you feel really fed up, I can get out the pictures and look at them, which invariably make me smile. I look at my dad's passport, because Dad died a long time ago, and my mum's makeup compact, and then I eat my chocolate. There is a bit of an issue with replenishing stocks, but whatever will get you through that bad time is for you. So give it a go. We're starting. I'm a trained counsellor. Been in education for more years than I care to admit. It was my birthday yesterday. I was 22, so perhaps I've only done it for a small amount of years. Obviously I'm lying. And we're launching a telephone line, so if anybody would like to speak confidentially, to just know there's somebody on the other end of the phone, there'll be 2 telephone numbers which we'll publish. Paul and I will both be able to speak to you and help you. But going back to being positive, sometimes it's really hard. And it's really easy for people to say, oh, have a positive attitude. But when you're worried about money, you're worried about how you're going to feed yourself, maybe feed family, how you're going to pay your bills, everything's awful. It's really easy to say you've got to stay positive, and it's more difficult to get there. But it is about the way you look at things. And I learned a long time ago that worrying about things you cannot control makes no difference. So you should reserve the worrying, because you will worry, for the things that you can control, the things that you can change. So, types of things. I can change when I go out. I can change what I have to eat. Small things, small tiny things. But having some control over your situation is a huge step towards being positive. It really is. Now, I'm not talking about being positive in a throwaway kind of way. And at some point, with some blessing, I will publish my story. And then you'll see, because it's quite difficult when it seems like the world's against you to keep smiling, to stop those hugely negative thoughts creeping into your mind. So it's about knowing what your trigger is. And when you sat there, maybe, and let's just create a bit of a scenario, I'm watching the TV and I start to feel a bit fed up. I start to feel I'm all on my own. What am I going to do? I haven't got any money. Nobody cares about me. And I'm sure everybody's experienced feelings like that. That's the time where I need to have some diversion with thoughts. You'll get out your box, whether it's figuratively or literally. You might have a real box or you might have an imaginary box in your head. You need to get that box out and start rifling through some positive, happy memories and think about what you can do to make a difference to yourself in this time. And it might be pampering yourself. It might be something as easy as light a couple of candles, put some bubbles in bath and go and have a soak. That I used to love having a soaking bath when I was in a bad mood or fed up. It might be having a brisk walk. It might be going for a jog. It might be making yourself a fantastic sandwich, bacon, a tomato, whatever it is. Whatever it is for you. The other key thing is not to judge yourself. On social media, it kind of makes me smile sometimes because everybody's glamorous. Everybody's a perfect bodies and everybody's living a glamorous life. Everybody's driving fantastic cars and they've all got wonderful jobs. But life isn't like that. And then you start to judge yourself. Oh, I've not been running today, so that means bad. I know it's good for my mental health. I best go do it. Life's not like that. So the key things, one, about learning to love yourself. That's really difficult. Really difficult. When I was born, I was the youngest of four, and we were the only black family in South Leeds. Character building, to say the least. And it took me a long, long time. So I was always very different. And to be fair, that difference continued throughout my life. But it took me a long time to be happy with who I am. To be totally, totally content in my own skin. And not to judge myself against anybody else. I look at people, I think, oh, wow. She's gorgeous, he's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But this is me. And you need to tell yourself every day how important you are, how gorgeous you are, how special you are, to try and keep positive. Recognising when self-doubt and negative feelings creep in and trying to take action as soon as they start to creep in. Because, unfortunately, they grow very quickly. If only flowers in the garden grew like that. But as soon as you recognise that self-doubt creeping in, you need to shut that down. And your shutting down mechanism could be any of the things we've talked about. I can't tell you what's good for you. But hopefully you'll reflect and try and think about what's the right way to you. One of my escape rooms is music. I love listening to music. So I've got different music for different moods. So when I'm in I'm going to start getting fed up mood, I'll just blast out Aretha Franklin as loud as I can, which my neighbours hate, but hey, don't do it often. Or I'll go in the car and play it really loud and get really strange looks from people. Kind of makes me laugh. Other people, like drawing or painting or cooking. Cooking's another thing I love to do. I love to cook. And sometimes I'll come into this room, and this is my small bedroom stroke office. And if you look behind me, there's trophies and medals that my son won. So I come in, and I've not put them away. I come in and I look at them sometimes, and it reminds me, triggers so many happy memories of standing around rugby pitches in the cold and the rain and the wind. Weren't particularly happy at the time, but when I look back, I wouldn't change it for the world. Having disputes with referees and loads of shouting and parents getting irritated. Fantastic, fantastic times. So maybe when this is over, one of the great things you could be involved with is a local sports team. And I don't mean to play. I mean, do I look like I've ever played rugby? But such a feeling of camaraderie, of family, of belonging. So go and check them out. They'll always need somebody to sell raffle tickets. They'll always need somebody with any set of skills in a local sports team. And I'm frantically struggling not to say rugby team, because that's my love. Not judging yourself against other people. Being kind to yourself. If you can't do something one day because all you want to do is slob out and feel sorry and eat loads of chocolate, then that's fine. But it's not fine to do it 2 days or 3 or 4. So take some time out for you, indulge a little bit. Try and connect with people. So every day, ring somebody up, talk to somebody. And as I said, we'll have the lines up and running soon, so you can talk to us. I hope that's been useful. Bit of a world tour. Thank you for watching. I'm Sharon, sending lots of love and best wishes, and speak to you all soon.